Chapter 1: The Storm. The blizzard came out of nowhere. One moment, I was trudging through the snow-covered streets of Hollowbrook, my breath fogging in the frigid air, and the next, the wind howled like a wounded beast, whipping snow into my face. The streetlights flickered, casting eerie, shifting shadows. I pulled my coat tighter, cursing myself for taking the long way home. That was when I saw her. A woman stood beneath the flickering glow of a lamppost, her dark hair dusted with snowflakes. She wore no coat, just a thin sweater that clung to her frame. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes, they were too dark, too knowing. "You look cold," she said, her voice smooth as silk. "My home is just around the corner. You should come inside before you freeze." I hesitated. Something about her unsettled me. The way she didn't shiver, the way her lips curled into a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. But the wind screamed again, and my fingers had gone numb. "Thanks," I muttered. She led me down an alley I'd never noticed before, toward a Victorian house that loomed like a forgotten relic. The porch light buzzed faintly, illuminating peeling paint and a rusted iron knocker shaped like a screaming face. I should have turned back, but I followed her inside. Chapter 2: The House That Breathed. The warmth hit me first, thick, cloying like the air inside a greenhouse. The scent of old books and something metallic lingered beneath. "Make yourself comfortable," she said, gesturing to a plush armchair near the fireplace. The flames danced too eagerly, casting long, writhing shadows across the walls. I sat, rubbing my hands together. "I appreciate this." The storm came out of nowhere. She tilted her head. "Did it?" Before I could respond, she disappeared into the kitchen. The house groaned, a deep, shuddering sound like the settling of bones. My skin prickled. That was when I noticed the walls. At first glance, they were covered in ornate wallpaper. But when I looked closer, the patterns moved. Swirling vines twisted like snakes. Faces emerged from the floral designs, mouths open in silent screams. I stood abruptly. "You see them," her voice came from behind me. "Spun." She held a steaming cup of tea, her expression unreadable. "See what?" I asked, forcing a laugh. "The house remembers its guests," she murmured. "Some more than others." Cold sweat broke across my back. "I should go." She stepped closer. "But the storm hasn't passed yet." The windows rattled. Outside the wind shrieked, but it didn't sound like wind anymore. Sounded like laughter. Chapter 3: The Truth in the Basement. The tea tasted bitter. My limbs grew heavy. She watched me with those dark, endless eyes. "You're different from the others. Stronger." "Others?" My tongue felt thick. She smiled. "The ones who didn't last." I tried to stand, but my legs buckled. The room spun. The walls pulsed, the faces within them pressing outward, straining against the paper. The woman knelt beside me, her fingers brushing my cheek. "Don't fight it. The house hungers." With the last of my strength, I shoved her away and stumbled toward the door. It wouldn't open. Laughter echoed, hers, the house's I didn't know. Then a whisper in my ear. "The basement. If you want to live." I didn't know where it came from, but I ran. Down the hall, past portraits with eyes that followed me, to a narrow door half hidden beneath the stairs. I wrenched it open. Cold air rushed up, carrying the stench of rot. A single bulb flickered, revealing rows of jars, each containing a heart still beating. And at the center of the room, a pulsing, fleshy mass embedded in the floor. The real house. Chapter 4: The Escape. The walls trembled. The woman's voice slithered down the stairs. "You weren't supposed to see that." I grabbed a rusted pipe from the floor and swung at the nearest jar. Shattered. The heart inside spasmed, and the house screamed. The woman's shriek echoed above. "Stop!" I smashed another. And another. The floor quaked. The fleshy mass convulsed, black ichor oozing from its veins. I bolted up the stairs as the house contorted, walls bending, doors snapping shut like jaws. The front door splintered open just as I reached it. I dove into the snow. Behind me, the house collapsed in on itself, its screams fading into the storm. The woman stood amidst the wreckage, her form flickering like a dying flame. "You'll come back," she whispered. "They always do." Then she was gone. Epilogue. The police found no house. No bodies. Just an empty lot and a man babbling about screaming walls. They called it hypothermia. But sometimes when the wind howls just right, I hear her voice. And I know the house is waiting. Expanded ending. The house's last whisper. I didn't stop running until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. Snow stung my face as I collapsed onto the sidewalk, gasping. When I finally looked back, the alley was gone. Just an empty street. No Victorian house. No screaming wind. The police found me hours later, half frozen and muttering about beating hearts in jars. They exchanged glances, the kind reserved for drunks and madmen. Hypothermia-induced hallucinations, they said. But the doctors couldn't explain the black sludge under my fingernails, or the faint, rhythmic thumping I still heard at night. I moved cities, changed my name, yet no matter how far I went, the dreams followed. Or, standing at the foot of my bed, her skin peeling away like old wallpaper, whispering, "You shouldn't have left, Daniel. The house misses you." Last night, I woke to the smell of damp wood and iron. My apartment walls. They were breathing. And in the corner, where the shadows pooled too thickly, door. One I'd never seen before. It was open just a crack. And from inside, a familiar voice sighed. "Come home. Why this works for your videos." Ambiguous horror ending. Leaves room for interpretation. Did he escape, or is the house still claiming him? Sequel potential. The lingering curse invites future stories, e.g., I escaped the house, but it followed me home. Word count maintained. Adds depth without bloating the narrative.